What's up, your boy? For another reaction, and in today's video, we have what happened to the Arkansas star QB KJ Jefferson. I remember this nigga game, KJ Jefferson, bro. Yeah, what the fuck happened to this nigga? By Matt B. Great. Let's get into it.
That was one of the most impressive plays I've ever seen a player make.
You're probably wondering who the greatest head coach of all time, Nick Saban, is talking about here. Maybe it's Deshaun Watson, maybe it's Tim Tebow, maybe it's Cam Newton, or maybe it's Johnny Manziel. Those would all be great guesses, but they're all incorrect. Nick Saban is talking about no other than KJ Jefferson here.
Bring pressure, Jefferson in trouble.
He had one of the greatest plays you're ever going to see. The Alabama defender had him dead to rights. He had him sacked in the backfield, and he somehow, some way escaped it and got a positive play out of it.
Jefferson won't go down.
What the fuck?
Gets out of there.
You want to know the crazy part about this? KJ Jefferson did this routinely. Gus Malzahn even stated,
Hold on, bro. My fucking dog, bro. I'm gonna bring the dog in.
that he is the closest thing to Cam Newton that he's ever had. He drew those Cam Newton comparisons
I remember this nigga at UCF. He was just at UCF like a year ago, 2 years ago.
entire career because he was 6'4", 250 pounds. To say he was a tank might be understating it. He was an absolute unit that could throw the ball. He was extremely accurate as well. He completed 65% of his passes his entire career. If you're not sold on him quite just yet, why don't you get a listen to this? In 2 years, he had 60 total touchdowns to only 9 interceptions. You're probably sitting there wondering, dang, Matt,
He was that good at one point?
This guy sounds unreal. He probably had NFL teams drilling all over him, and he's having a successful NFL career as to when we're speaking and making this video.
Nope.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that couldn't be any farther from the truth. Let's just say that things haven't panned out.
What the fuck? Come on, bro. Y'all niggas always got, like, why y'all can't, bro? You fucking up the bag, bro. Like, keep your head on, bro. Keep your head on straight.
The way he hoped they would.
You fucking up your bag.
Not to spoil this for you, but if I'm showing you a player's mugshot, you know dang well that's not a good sign. There's many questions people have been asked about this guy even till this day. But however, it all circles back to the one, and I mean the one big question we're going to try to get to the bottom of in today's video. What really happened to KJ Jefferson? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. If not, I hope this video can make a week. Comment down below. Don't any leave. That's enough to where things started. Mr. Jefferson was a very solid recruit coming out of high school. He was a 4-star, had a 90 overall scout grade, and he was ranked as the 5th best dual-threat quarterback in the nation. He had his fair share of offers, but ultimately, he decided to commit and sign with the Arkansas Razorbacks. I would consider this a big pickup. We're not talking about Alabama, LSU, we're not talking about Florida, we're not talking about Texas, we're talking about Arkansas. What I mean when I say that, I love my Arkansas fan base. It's no disrespect to them. It's just reality, and my heart goes out to them because they have a great impact.
They one of the laughing stocks of the SEC, my nigga. Just a fucking punching bag.
Passionate fan base. I'm not just talking about football. I'm talking about basketball. I'm talking about everything. Unfortunately,
they're better at basketball. Like,
Arkansas fans have been through so much pain over the many, and I mean many years. I still can't get over what happened with the baseball team, but that's a different video and different conversation for a different day. Still can't believe they dropped that pop fly out of bounds, but lock in, Matt, lock in, sorry. Like I was saying, Arkansas isn't really accustomed to getting 4- and 5-star recruits. They get a couple here and there, but I would say for the most part, it's special. Whereas for Georgia, if they get a 4-star quarterback, or Alabama, you don't even bat an eye, but Arkansas, yeah, kind of a big deal. Jefferson comes in, first couple years, years, 2019, 2020, doesn't do much. But in 2021, this was his breakout year. Going off of the stats, you would circle the 2022 year, which we'll get to in just a second, a little foreshadowing. But for me, I'm not too concerned about the stats. 2021 is when everybody's like, wait a minute. Who is this guy Arkansas's got back there? He's built like Cam Newton. Literally. And this guy could throw the ball. It's not like he wanted to run first. No, he didn't mind passing it. And he wanted to pass first.
They got the fucking LaMarcus Russell build.
You know, against Alabama that year, he went 22 for 30, he had 326 passing yards, but 3 touchdowns to 0 INTs. And here's what's crazy. Everybody talks about how good he was running. He had 13 carries for 22 yards. He was a non-factor on the ground. A lot of these teams went into the games against KJ Jefferson saying, okay, we got to take away his legs and we should be fine. But
Man, niggas damn near almost beat Old Piss. Oh, they beat us. Oh, shit.
you weren't fine. Jefferson was a monster. He carried that Arkansas team to a 9-4 record. Is it impressive? No, but when you take a look at the Arkansas football program, I think it is. When it was all said and done for that season,
Yeah, that is impressive. It is.
and he completed 67% of his passes. That's accurate. Rounding up, had 2,700 passing yards, 21 touchdowns through the air to only 4 INTs. Men lie, women lie, but ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, numbers, they never lie. You can sit up here all you want and say KJ Jefferson wasn't that good of a passer, but look at these numbers. Look at them. Heading into 2022, there was a ton of expectations, and if you got to ask me, I think he delivered. The best way I could summarize this is it was a carbon copy paste from 2021. This is going to sound bad when I say it, but it's not, because like we talked about, he was good in 2021, but he didn't really improve too much. He was a good quarterback. He was. But you didn't look at him and go, okay, he's taking that next step. You didn't look at him and go, oh yeah, this guy, he could be a starter for an NFL team. He could lead a franchise to a Super Bowl or anything like that. To go on top of that, Arkansas didn't have that great of a year, so nobody's really talking about him. They finished 7-6. Let's take a look at his numbers. Completion percentage actually went up 68%, had 2,600 passing yards. You see, identical to 2021, had 24 passing touchdowns to 5 interceptions. Yet again, really good / great. But this is where in our story that KJ Jefferson, he starts to take a step backwards. Heading into 2023, you're going, okay, I want to see this guy read deep.
Yeah. Bro, that nigga's putting up good numbers. Like, why doesn't he ain't take a superstar like Heisman leap? Like,
Defense a little bit better. I want to see this guy layer the football, stuff like that. We're talking about NFL caliber throws. We know this guy's a good passer, but can he get to that really good level? Can he get to that great level and vault himself into the second and third round conversations? Because heading into 2023, I would say he was looked at as pretty much undrafted free agent, at best case scenario, 5th, 6th round pick. We got those in there. It's never going to help your case, and it's only going to hurt it when you're playing on a bad football team. You know what Arkansas finished that year? 4-8. They was in a lot of those games. They played.
yeah, and close records 24-21 Alabama, 27-20 Old Piss, 34-31 LSU, my team.
LSU close, played Bama close, played who else was it? Oh yeah, Mississippi State close. They played Ole Miss close, but
7-3 game, 7-3 against Mississippi State game, for real. 7-3.
in similar Arkansas fashion, even to this day, they just couldn't pull them out. And I'm not going to give KJ Jefferson a pass. I'm going to critique him a little bit. He regressed. I love showing you guys these numbers because it paints the picture perfectly. Because if I sit up here and say, oh, well, he regressed, and I give you my opinion on it, that's not backed up by cold hard facts and evidence. But when I show you these numbers, well, here's the thing about that, Timothy and Bobby. You can't argue with them. Completion percentage dropped. You never like to see that. We want to see him get better. And it's not like it went down a tick. We're talking about a whole 4% almost. Yards went down 2,100, had 19 passing touchdowns, and this was a red flag, 8 interceptions. Teams started to pick up on it. If we can take away his first read, he struggles to get through progressions. That's what they did, and ultimately, that's why he wasn't that good. At the end of the 2023 season, I don't want to say that him and Arkansas were going at it and they were bumping heads. Some may say that, but I'll put it to you like this. It was very clear that he wanted to go somewhere else. I can't even blame him for it because there was no indication that Arkansas was going to get better anytime soon, and he only had 1 year left of eligibility, so why waste it there? I need to throw this in there while I'm thinking about it. Some of you sitting there saying, well, Matty boy, what about the NFL draft? Did he consider that? Here's the problem with that. Like we talked about, heading into 2023, at best case scenario, he was going to be a 5th, 6th round pick. Well, after playing, we'll just say, not up to the expectations of these scouts in 2023 for Arkansas, He dropped out of everything. All the mock drafts, it didn't matter what mock draft you looked at, everybody's saying, yep, he's going undrafted. So that's why he decided to come back to college football and enter the portal, and he winds up
This I remember the nigga at UCF.
joining UCF. At the time, this made perfect sense. It did. You know who the head coach at UCF was?
And this that year them niggas had Javon Baker and that other nigga.
Was Gus Malzahn, the Gus Bus.
Who could guard 1 and 2? Dum 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 dum.
Gus Malzahn stated, and I quote, KJ Jefferson is physically the closest thing to Cam Newton that I've had. Everybody thought this was going to be a match made in heaven. Malzahn is an offensive mastermind. He's a quarterback whisperer. This is going to be great. This is what Jefferson has needed. There's no way this doesn't work out. Malzahn and Jefferson, oh, they're going to fit together like peanut butter and jelly. But just like the man, the myth, the legend Lee Corso says, not so fast, my friend. It was the opposite. Things were horrendous. I'm talking about horrendous at UCF. How bad were they? He got benched. He got benched after 5 games. But check out what some of the UCF fans were saying after game number 1. Dang, I know it's the first game of the season with a new team, but KJ looks really bad. Almost like he doesn't even want to be there. KJ seems like he's just been out partying. So far, the silent fears that some have had have been correct. And here's the last one I'm going to show.
Nigga was a Johnny Manziel.
Show you. KJ looks inaccurate and out of shape. That is very interesting, and what's even crazier about this is when he got benched, most people were just assuming, and I'll show you an example of an Arkansas fan assuming this, that he was hurt. No, he wasn't hurt, just wasn't playing good. And I can't even fault people for that because it is hard to believe. You mean to tell me the guy who played for one of the worst teams in the SEC, who had 60 touchdown passes in 60 total touchdowns in 2 years and 9 interceptions, is getting benched at UCF? What? That doesn't make any sense. This guy was lighting up SEC competition week in and week out. What happened? If you gotta ask me, with all the digging and research I've done for this video, I think this is a great classic case and example of an individual, an athlete, who reached their full potential, which is rare to see, especially in college. I gotta give him a ton of credit. That is not an insult. That version we saw of KJ Jefferson in 2021 and 2022 was the best version of him. He wasn't going to get any better. He capped out. With this being his last year of college football, he would declare for the NFL draft. You do not have to be a rocket scientist to figure out what I'm about to say next. Of course, he went
undrafted.
The big dilemma with KJ Jefferson is nothing he did translated over to the next level. Nothing. He was good at a bunch of things, but he wasn't great at one. And when it comes to professional sports, the NBA, Major League Baseball, or NFL, it's better to be a master of one thing than the jack of all trades. You don't want to be an average three-point shooter, an average ball handler, an average passer, just average at everything. You're never going to make the league. But you can be the worst dribbler of all time. You can be terrible at passing. You can be awful at defense. But if you can shoot the three ball, I'm talking about a high
Curry, nigga name and Curry.
Clip like a Kyle Korver. Oh yeah, there's a spot for you in the NBA. Same thing with the MLB. You can be the worst hitter of all time. You can be terrible at fielding, but if you could throw 103 miles per hour and you got a nasty off speed, a good slider, there's a spot for you. I think you get my point. It's relatively the same thing with the NFL. If you want to be a quarterback in the NFL, there's only 32 of these jobs. Something has to separate you from everybody else. And the bottom line is, nothing separated KJ Jefferson. Nothing at all. Wasn't a great scrambler, so you couldn't say, oh, well, maybe he could have been like a Lamar Jackson or a Jaden Daniels or something like that. Wasn't good at reading defenses. Wasn't a great passer. You get the point. Just average. I'd say my biggest red flag with him is he could not identify blitzes. I'm not even talking about when they're happening. I'm talking about in pre-snap. And that's a big no-no. The thing that made Tom Brady the greatest of all time and these other quarterbacks, like you see with Brock Purdy, is their ability to read the defense, process information quickly.
Yes. If you can't read a defense, your ass gonna be a bust. That's why I knew Bryce Young wasn't a bust and that it was his organization. It wasn't building around him. We watched Bryce Young dominate 2022 Georgia. Like, even though
goes undrafted,
they did lose that game, I'm pretty sure, because J-Mo got hurt. I'm pretty sure, yeah.
drafted.
But
I
he
do need
still
to throw this
balled
in
though.
there. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but he did get arrested. And the reason I say it's not a big deal is because it was a traffic violation. I can't harp on this enough. It was just a speeding ticket, but regardless, it never looks good when your mugshot's going around the internet and you got arrested. It doesn't matter if it's a big reason or a small reason. And I realize this video has come to an abrupt ending, but that's it. That's the end all be all. KJ Jefferson never got a shot in the NFL, and I think it's more than safe to say he never will. Really unfortunate and really sad ending to our story, but I'm not going to act shocked by it, even though I think he was a good dude, and I'd like to see him get a backup role in the league. I don't blame these
No, it ain't happening.
teams for not giving him an opportunity. I don't even think he could manage you a game as a backup in the NFL. I don't. It's just really sad to see the way things.
Well, shit. Milroy backup, nigga. Milroy only got drafted in the backup because that nigga athletic and he fast. They think that nigga might develop in the Lamar. If he could develop into a damn passer, Jalen Milroy, he could actually be fucking cold.
Played out because when I was watching him for Arkansas all those years, he was a bright spot for that team. He was such a tough cat, and I really enjoyed watching him. So to KJ Jefferson, if you're somewhere out there seeing this video, brother, really appreciate you, and thank you for all the great memories and wishing you the best of luck. Let me know your thoughts on this down below. But Romana!
Make sure to comment, subscribe, and I'm gonna do this.